Welcome to Thank God You're Not My Child. Remember, it's a comedy podcast where I talk about whatever I want to. And this week, we're going to talk about camping. Yes, I know. A lot of people don't want to camp. A lot of people I know don't like to camp. And I get it. Be you, dude. Be you. But just let me tell you, there's a few things if you go camping. First of all, always let somebody know where you're going because there's some bad shit out there in the woods and you never know. So, first of all, let someone know where you're going. I know that was a little serious. Second of all, always watch where you're putting your campsite. Because, man, have I got stories about bad campsites and we should have thought about it and, where you think you know things. And, because growing up, we went camping. We went camping a lot. And it was crazy. I cannot tell you now knowing how much work my mom did to go camping with 4 kids. And her cooking on the campfire and how good she was. And then I started camping with my kids and thought, holy fuck, this is a lot of work. But the memories I have from camping with my parents, they're priceless. The swimming, the fishing, the not catching fish. I was not the best fisherman. Nope. I was usually the kid that had the cane pole because I couldn't keep hold of my fishing pole. And I can guarantee you there's 2 or 3 really good rotted rods in Eufaula Lake here in Oklahoma. That's where we like to fish the most. Got some good fish out there, people. In Eufaula, we're out there. I grew up around Eufaula Lake. Close to it, anyway. And we only tent camped. I didn't realize we were poor until I got older. But, man, being dirty camping, swimming, fish fries, campfires. We didn't do campsites, like you do now, like you pay to be at a campsite and you have a bathroom and all. We just went out and find a corner. So, it was true camping. And the memories. I remember the night fishing, because I was a night kid and I didn't sleep very well. So if I was quiet, I could sit out by the fire and just watch. And of course, now I know that they were fishing, probably shouldn't have been at night, and was probably a little alcohol involved. But good times. And then I still like tent camping. It brings memories back. You do have to watch when you're camping because it can be hot as fuck in a tent. But first of all, if it's hot, I need water. That's all I say. Not to drink. I need water to be able to put my feet in, drink a cold beer, watch the people floating by or something. I need water if it's going to be hot and I can survive. But that tent camping, yeah, everybody should know how to do that because one day we're going to come down to the point to where we might not have air and stuff, if you know what I mean. And there are going to be people dropping like flies. You know, those people that say, oh, camping, bugs, I don't like them. No, we don't. No, little mama, we don't like those bugs. Those fucking bugs are going to take us over one day when we're stuck outside, if you know what I mean. So, I'll fuck those bugs up on my own, if you know what I mean. But, so yeah. Do I suggest camping? Abso-fucking-lutely. I do. I still camp to this day. Whenever I became single at 50, when I bought my car, I was able to find a tent that went on the back of it, like all the yuppies are doing. And I didn't want to be, a yuppie, but It was like $120 and it fits on my car. And, I knew I was going to be a yuppie, you know. That is the most amazing thing I've ever bought. My first 3 vacations single were camping out of that car. I've camped on a beach, like literally on the beach. I have camped in campsites. I have promised to only do campsites. No Eufaula out in the middle of nowhere. Because you remember that always somebody would always know where you're at. That no matter how old you are, it doesn't change. So yeah, it was one of the best things I ever bought. Uh, Evan and I have not used it yet, but I think we will here really soon. Just go somewhere and have a fire and sit there and just enjoy each other. That's what camping, I think, is about, is enjoying them. Because when you're at home, you have laundry, you have dishes, you have floors to clean, you have all of this stuff to do. But when you go camping, okay, yeah, you may have to cook and you may have to clean that up kind of weird. But you know what? God made those woods for us. So going out and enjoying them, why the fuck not? But if you take your kids, you might want to have one eye on them, you know? Because I know how I was, and you could definitely have issues with your kids going too far, if you know what I mean. We've all heard the stories, and all of that. So there is so many things you can do if you take your kids camping. I'm drawing a blank now of what we did with my kids. We like to swim. We like to swim. I remember camping with my kids once, and we got there really late. It was probably work related, if you know what I mean. And we set the camp up, and when you get that tent set up and you have your kids, and it's so relaxing, and you're like, "Oh, gosh, I'm done." The kids are sleeping. It's so nice. I can guarantee you, I was probably drinking a beer going, "Holy cow, this is nice." And because you got it all set up finally. Because when we first started camping, you we were poor too. So, we buying that 1999 tent that probably takes you 2 hours to set up, if you know what I mean. And so, yeah, so we set up, we're so happy about it. And then it starts to rain. And I don't mind if it's raining when it's camping. I have cards and stuff, and I don't mind when it rains. I just sit back and put my feet up and enjoy it, you know? But when we set this tent up, we totally did not realize that we were driving down, down, down into like a valley. And when it started raining, oh my Lord, it was like 3 a.m. and we're like, everything is soaking wet. And we're taking what we can that's dry and we're putting in the minivan. And so we did all get dry. We did get the kids laid down, and we just sat there and laughed and looked at each other because who the fuck sets up their tent in a valley? What were we thinking? You know? So there's another thing. Always watch where you're putting your tent. Yeah, learn from our mistakes, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? And let's talk about feeding people when you're camping. Dude, there is some good camping stuff out there that you can pre-cook. You can even pre-cook before you go camping. I would do that like at the end. I mastered camping before we got divorced. I'd mastered it. Uh, we had a little more money that we had a couple of the good coolers, and we had the tents that just pop out. They were so cool, so cool. And we could set up our campsite in 10 minutes. And that was drinking a beer and setting the kitchen up and the bed and the whole thing up. We had it down. At first, we bought cots, and they were great and all, but, it was just not right. But I didn't want to be that couple that, is stuck in the bathroom airing the air mattress up. You know what I mean? I refuse to. No air mattress for this girl. Sorry, guys. If you do it, you do you, boo. But I don't wanna be wasting my time in the bathroom blowing up an air mattress. So, my ass is a little cushion. I'll get me a little mat to roll out, and that's just how we're gonna have to do it because I guess I refuse to be in the bathroom blowing an air bed up because I'm too fancy to lay on the floor. Okay, anyway, so yeah, go check out those foods. Some of the best tacos I've had has been on campfires, and it was because I was prepared to cook and eat. So yeah, and make sure and take snacks for those kids because when they're playing outside like that, they're gonna need more snacks. They're gonna need more water. They're gonna want more sodas, but they're gonna need more water. I always made sure that the meals, the kids could have a soda or something if we had it, but all the other time they had to have water. Remember water, you know? Because sometimes camping is what you need to reset your life. And that's what this whole thing is about. You know? Let's get out there and enjoy God's trees, His waterways. Maybe learn how to live together in a tent so if something bad happens, maybe it's not so hard. You know, the one thing I n- cannot believe one day we might not have air conditioning. Air conditioning, people. I mean, I like tent camping, but if you're going to tent camp, you know what's really good about tent camping? When you come home and you take that hot shower, or in my case, a cold shower, because I like cold showers. And then you lay in that air conditioned place and you had a good time. Without air conditioning, it's not going to happen. Yeah. Well, just between us, we're going to move on. Married life is hard, people. It's hard. Okay, I'm just joking. I was married 32 years before. Uh, when we got together, it was just like we already both knew how to do it. And so I knew what I did wrong with my previous marriage that lasted forever and a day. And I didn't say what he did wrong. I know what I did wrong. And I'm going to make sure I don't do that again. I'm going to, but I will tell you this, that we didn't have a wedding, we eloped. But flying was a little stressful, okay? Um that was really painfully hard for me, painfully. And then I had a reaction to a medicine while I was up there, a new medicine. Never take a new medicine when you've flown to another state to elope and then think you can have a drink and new medicine. Just don't. Don't do it. But I did get married. We did. But there was no, it was an elopement. And that week was so stressful. And it wasn't the I do's, it was the flights. It was all of the people. There's so many people want to see Alaska. Um, I had a great time, but the stress that came with flying there and the stress with flying home and catching this, and it's almost $300 to park our car there. I mean, what the hell? You see? But you know what? Mrs. Clift is done loading. And as long as I work on myself and keep myself, you know, good to go, I'm aligned with my God, aligned with God. And it's going to be a good run. It's going to be my last run because that first run was, I was 18 when I met him. So yeah, we're going to start this one off. Boom! You know what I mean? It's my last one. This is it. So yeah, just between us. Mrs. Clift is all done loading. I've been a mether since I was 19. It was a little weird, but it's wonderful. I love what I had in the past. All the memories, camping with my kids. It's just, the memories are just crazy. On to making new memories. Yes, just between us. So I do have a little story to tell you. Okay? It was a camping story. And, you know, I, I do get emails. And I think the one problem I have is just reading what people say, because I was that kid that if you have me stand up and read in class, I'm going to probably go blah, 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 doop, doop. I'm that person. But if I can tell you a story, ooh-wee, it's going to be much better. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, so you know what I mean. There's a little girl. She's playing. Her mom and dad took her camping. She loves to camp so much. Her favorite thing to do is hide from her mother. Now, I can respect this because hide and seek, is one of my favorite games. But hide and seek while you're camping? I don't know about that. I mean, if everybody's playing, I guess. But I can tell you this. Remember, I'm a big horror fan. And whatever you do, don't play hide and seek at night in the woods while you're camping. Do you understand? Yes, I know. So she's wanting to play hide and seek. So she finds a hiding space and she's hiding. And she's thinking, yes. And then that's all we heard of the little girl. So the mom starts looking for her and she realizes she's nowhere around. She screams her name louder. She's nowhere to be found. The dad comes up, they can't find her. They go to the next camper, they can't find her. They go to the next camper, they can't find her. So eventually, everybody's looking. They've been looking for 45 minutes now. 45 minutes of her not knowing where her daughter is. And they're by the water. And people suck nowadays. They suck. They suck nowadays. And that fear that one of those people that suck got close, anywhere close, to her daughter made her stomach turn. Yes, I know. It made the Dexter in me come out. Because, I've always said that, I joke and say Dexter does God's work. And it's just a TV show. But, if you're going to hurt a little girl that's just camping with her parents, maybe you should be unalived. So they decide to call 911, which I thought 45 minutes? I'd have called 911 after 4 to 5 minutes, not 45 minutes. So the police show up. And they're like, you know, that's a call you never wanna have in your area. This little girl's missing. Why can't we? It's been an hour and a half now, and they're thinking they need to get a helicopter in. All of a sudden, this little girl wakes up from a sleep, and she realizes, "What? What is that noise?" She comes out of the tent. This little girl has hidden in her mom and dad's mattress. She fell asleep. When they looked in the tent, they didn't think of looking in their bed. She had swam so much, played so hard, that when she thought she was playing hide and seek, she forgot to tell Mom, "Hey, come find me." She fell asleep in the bed. And this whole hour and a half, the little girl was fast asleep. A little girl that doesn't need a nap. She never needs a nap. But on this camping trip, her little body said, "I need a nap." And an hour and a half later, helicopters were almost called in. So, note to self. If your kids are playing hide and seek while you're camping, check both beds, all beds in the tent, because that would be fucking embarrassing. And thank you for sending that story in. Yeah, you didn't want me to say anything because you were embarrassed you called the police and forgot to look in your bed. Girl, who has not been embarrassed for that parent fail? But you know what? She was all right. And after those police left, you were able to calm down, have a cold drink, and laugh about it. And to this day, you're still laughing about it. So, yeah, remember, don't play hide and seek at night in the woods while you're camping. Because remember, people suck. And those are the people you need to worry about, not the monsters. It's the human monsters. Until next time, thank God you're not my child.